folks here at Youngstown Cultural Arts Center. Thanks to their director, David Bestock. Also, I'm happy to be joined by Councilmember Herbal and State Representative Fitzgibbons. As some of you heard, I spent part of my childhood growing up in West Seattle. And West Seattle's blessing is its geography, and its challenge is its geography. Moving in and out of West Seattle is a pretty big challenge when you're trying to get to work at rush hour or get to school. Proposition 1 is West Seattle's best chance to create fast, reliable connections with the rest of the region. Proposition 1 will allow West Seattle residents to have access to light rail at 3 stations, here at Delridge, at Avalon, and at the Alaska Junction. That means being able, again, to get where you need and get there quickly. As someone who grew up here but now lives on Capitol Hill, it's been a life-changing experience for those of us up on the hill as we get downtown in a few minutes, into the View District in a few minutes, or to the airport. It took a lot of hard work to get us here. Just over a year ago, the question was, would the package include Ballard and West Seattle? Or the question would be, it has to be one or the other. But today we're here to fight for, on November 8th, that we have light rail in West Seattle and in Ballard. And it's not just about West Seattle and Ballard. It's stations in Soto, it's stations in the International District, Chinatown, and Midtown, joining us to places like Westlake and Denny, South Lake Union, the Seattle Center, all the way up to Ballard. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This region and this city made a huge mistake in the late 1960s and early 1970s when they said no to mass transit. And we've been suffering with the congestion ever since. As the city continues to grow, more people will drive, but we have to provide an opportunity for more people to have other options than driving. And while we've increased bus service to the largest extent in Seattle's history, this system won't work without passing Proposition 1. So I want to ask folks to do something that wasn't done 2 generations ago. And that's, let's make Seattle connected. Let's deal with issues such as equity. You know, when we talk about affordability, housing is one issue, but the second biggest challenge people face is transportation. Proposition 1 gives us that opportunity to move through the city and the region quickly. It gives that opportunity to create a more equitable Seattle, and it gives us an opportunity to continue to do something around climate change. And with that, it is my honor to introduce West Seattle's City Council member, Lisa Herbal. Lisa.
Thanks everybody for joining us, and thank you to Youngstown for hosting us today. West Seattle is a fantastic neighborhood. As many of you already know, it's a neighborhood where many families and children live. We have wonderful schools, outstanding cultural programs like the ones right here at Youngstown, beautiful parks, and vibrant and unique commercial districts. Traffic congestion is a primary concern of folks who live in West Seattle. We're geographically unique and isolated, and even with all that West Seattle has to offer, a top concern for residents in this district is traffic congestion. West Seattle's geography impacts daily commutes to and from our area, especially during rush hour. We know that congestion is only going to get worse as our population grows. Our region is expected to grow by 800,000 people over the next couple decades, and our family-friendly West Seattle community will definitely see an influx of new people, and this will make the congestion worse on West Seattle Bridge. For years, we've sought a solution, only to be burned. We know that we have a history of the failed monorail expansion to West Seattle and Ballard, and as a community, we got behind that initiative, but its failure left us disappointed and in search of a worthwhile alternative. Sound Transit Prop 1 near the bottom of your ballots gives West Seattle the alternative transportation option that we've been seeking. Right now, our opportunity is to bring high-capacity transit to West Seattle. With voter support of Prop 1, West Seattle residents will be able to access high-capacity light rail completion date, but this is a complex project, and we know that while Sound Transit is being built, we have some really important short-term strategies to help us out, including contributions to the Rapid Ride C and D lines, and other improvements to improve speed out of West Seattle to other locations, including Ballard. Prop 1 is a legacy project. It will finally give West Seattle and the Puget Sound region the comprehensive and efficient transportation system we have always needed. It will benefit all of us, including our children and our grandchildren, improving the region's economy and quality of life for generations to come. I call on District 1 residents and others across the region to join me in supporting Sound Transit Prop 1 so we can finally build the fast, reliable mass transit system we should have built decades ago. It's time to act. Please vote yes. And with that, I'd like to introduce
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you all for being here today. I have the good fortune of representing West Seattle as well as Burien and White Center and Vashon Island in the state legislature, where we worked very hard in 2015 to authorize Sound Transit to ask the voters of this region if they wanted to build a world-class transit system, and now that opportunity is before us. I've been riding the buses in West Seattle and in Burien for more than 10 years, and I ride the buses with people who've been doing it a lot longer than that. If you ask any bus rider on the 120 here on Delridge, on the C line, which heads to the Alaska Junction and down to Fauntleroy, they will all tell you the same thing, that the buses are more crowded than ever before. And that's great that we have such great bus service to West Seattle that people are able to use the buses, but they're very crowded, and don't count on finding a seat if you're riding a bus during rush hour. Even more troubling is the risk that you run of getting stuck in traffic and being late to work, missing a critical doctor's appointment, missing an appointment with a social worker, or missing something important to you in your life because the West Seattle Bridge was congested, because a fish truck overturned somewhere on the viaduct. The system is not resilient enough, and that's what Proposition 1 will get us. By having a light rail link here to Delridge, to Avalon, to the Alaska Junction, there's one more opportunity for people to get in and out of West Seattle without getting stuck in traffic. Whether you're a bus rider, a driver, a light rail passenger, having this system, this resilient system, will benefit you. There's a lot of attention paid to connecting West Seattle to downtown, which is a very exciting opportunity in Prop 1. But I don't think we pay enough attention to the fact that it's not just downtown that is opened up for West Seattle residents by passing Prop 1. If you were a nurse at Swedish in Ballard, if you were a machinist at Boeing in Everett, if you were an engineer at Microsoft in Redmond, if you are a student at the University of Washington, Seattle, or Tacoma, or if you're a school teacher in Federal Way, this is a system that you'll be able to access to get to work every day without running the risk of being stuck in traffic like you risk today. There's huge opportunities to open and connect an entire region. We're not just connecting West Seattle to downtown, we're connecting the entire Puget Sound region to many other destinations throughout the region, including work sites, hospitals, job centers, and education. Finally, I know that we all wish that this project could be done yesterday. It would be great if the voters in this region in 1968, 1970 had decided to connect the region the way that we have the opportunity to today. As much as we'd love to have it done, it's only going to take longer if Proposition 1 doesn't pass this fall. We're looking at a 2030 completion date for light rail to West Seattle. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that even sooner, but it's not going to be any sooner if we vote no. If we vote no, as the region voted no so many years ago, as we've heard many times, that's only going to take longer, and only going to be that many additional transit riders who will miss out on the opportunity to ride a world-class transit system to the places that they need to go in this region. So I'm hopeful that we can accelerate the timeline, but the only thing that will slow it down is voting no. And so I hope that residents of West Seattle and of this whole region will join me in voting an enthusiastic yes on Proposition 1. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our host, David Beestock with the Delridge Neighborhood Development Association. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. We're honored at the Delridge Neighborhoods Development Association, which owns and operates the Youngstown Cultural Arts Center, which is where we are, as well as an affordable housing portfolio and the Nature Consortium. And we do a lot of work here in West Seattle, lots of arts and cultural programs here at our building. We engage with our residents both in our housing and throughout Delridge. restoration work. Our focus is really on affordability and on equity. Thank you, Mayor Murray, for mentioning that, and to our other speakers for speaking on the benefits. For us, what's really exciting about Prop 1 is not only the access and the transportation, which is a key component of affordability, but it's also the components of Prop 1 that engage with the community and that provide money for affordable housing and working with the communities where the light rail is coming through. That's something that we're really interested in, and so I, as well, will say welcome to Youngstown, and I'm excited to increase access to Delridge, and also to encourage folks to vote on Prop 1, and to then engage in the process of really providing input into the bringing of light rail and of more transportation access to this community. We're really thrilled. It's an opportunity for folks to come and see all that West Seattle has to offer. Some of the most green space in Seattle, some amazing arts and cultural opportunities, a really multicultural community. And so I'm thrilled to be amongst you all and to welcome you here to Youngstown and to Delridge. And I'm excited to see Prop 1 pass and to work together with all the levels of government, and most importantly with our community here to see that it provides the most equitable access for those who need it the most. So thank you all. Get out and vote for Prop 1. And